to be launching a tasty pastry. It's a low-carb Pop-Tart. It's got 3 to 4 grams of net carbs, and we love this show. This is our best place to be in LA.
Welcome back to Legendary Foods Muscle in the Morning. I'm Dave Palumbo, and today is Friday, August 13th, 2021. And let's find out what's going on in the world of bodybuilding and fitness. Welcome back and happy Friday, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to do a little preview of the Texas Pro today. But before we get into who is going to be there, we're starting off the show by letting you know who won't be there. And if you haven't already guessed by the pictures, Charles Griffen is the person I'm talking about. Heading into the season, the plan was for Charles to compete at Tampa and Texas, with the goal being to earn an Olympia nod at one of those two shows. Despite the fact that he came out with a pretty good look at the Tampa Pro last weekend, something he could surely improve upon, he and his team announced a few days ago that not only would he not be competing in Texas this weekend, he's actually shutting it down for the rest of the year to concentrate on being undeniable in 2022. But now that we know Charles is out of the equation in the Men's Open this weekend, it creates room for a potential showdown between two other athletes, which we're about to jump right into now. The competitors list for the Men's Open isn't big, but it's deep, and it's headlined by the potential showdown between Steve Kuclo and Hassan Mostafa, as well as Ian Valliere. As far as Steve is concerned, this will be his season debut, and he's slated to compete at the Arnold in October, which basically means that he can play with house money this weekend. If he wins, it gives him a ton of momentum heading into the back half of the season. But if he doesn't, it gives him an opportunity to work the kinks out of the system before the Arnold and the Olympia. For Hassan, it's a different story. He's been trying to lock up his Olympia qualification all year long, and for one reason or another, things just haven't quite worked out. That being said, being able to do that this weekend and having to beat out an athlete like Steve Kuclo and Ian Valliere would do a huge service for him, because once he gets over that final hurdle, I think it relieves a lot of pressure and frees him up to finish out his season on a high note. One of the things we're keeping an eye on this weekend will be whether or not Urs Kalencinski can make it 2 in a row in classic physique. For those of you who don't know, Urs basically came from out of nowhere to win the Tampa Pro last weekend, and he looked incredible there if you haven't seen the pictures. But when we first talked about this show weeks ago, we spotlighted Logan Franklin as the man to beat here, and for Urs to go back-to-back, he'll have to go through Logan to do it. We have it on good authority that Logan had the best offseason of his career, and that he believes he's about to bring his best look to date to the stage this weekend. And if that's what happens, and Urs still somehow manages to secure the win over a top 10 Olympian, now we start talking about whether he fits into the Olympia equation. And by this time next week, we should all have answers to all of these questions. So don't forget to tune in to Recap Wednesday to find out. 9 times out of 10, trying to pick a winner in any bikini contest is a crapshoot, because up to this point in the season, the one exception to that rule has been whenever Ashley Kaltwasser has been in the lineup. The 3-time Bikini Olympia champ has already managed to rack up 6 wins and 2 other top 3 finishes this year, which feels like it has to be some kind of record. If she wins this weekend in Texas, it'll give her 7 total wins for the season, and we already know for sure that she's competing at the Arnold and the Olympia, and maybe somewhere else in between, which could theoretically give her 10 wins in a season if she rolls through. I'm no historian, but I think 10 wins plus a Bikini International title and a 4th Olympia win would qualify her as having the best contest season of all time for any athlete in any division. So if she can pull off lucky number 7 this weekend, in a weird way, it does bring her one step closer to keeping that historic run going. And that does it for yet another edition of Muscle in the Morning. I'm Dave Palumbo, reminding you to always be true to your passions, and make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.